Okay, so I just kind of want to talk about, so a lot of you guys know I'm not from Georgia. I'm actually from Arkansas. So I transferred here, and when you transfer to a school, to anybody who's transferred, you know, it's kind of scary because you don't really know anybody, you don't really have any friends, and it's really scary. Well, I met Maggie outside on cruise, giving me free coffee, and that's all you had to say to get me involved in anything is free coffee, and I'm there. But I had to stay last summer because I was working at my pool and I had nowhere to live. And Maggie was like, "Hey, we do summer housing." I'm like, "You are never going to take me because you don't even know who I am." So it was kind of like a big God thing for me that I got housing here at Wesley, and it really kind of like dove me into Wesley. We did our summer Wesley here, and Wesley really made me feel like a family. All right, here we go. Wesley really kind of gave me a family when I don't feel like I have one here in Arkansas. My mom lives in Washington State, and my dad lives in Arkansas, so the fastest drive is 7 hours. So if I really needed anything, that's kind of a far way. I don't usually cry. Hold on. So Wesley has just really brought me a family. I feel like there's a lot of people I can rely on here, like Maggie. Family. I've met some really great people. Like shout out to my family groups from the past like 2 semesters. Yeah, no, Wesley. Long story short, has really brought me a family, and I feel like I'm a lot closer to God, and has really kind of helped me settle down here in Georgia and make me feel like a home whenever I felt really lost and felt like nobody was here for me. So, yeah, that's that.
Because coming here, and since I got to Wesley, being like a commuter and a transfer student, I'm only here for like 2 years. So y'all have made me like feel so comfortable, like just immediately being a welcoming space that I can come in whether I'm in a great mood or just a negative mood, and I can just be myself, and I don't feel like I'm being like judged or unaccepted or whatever. I just know that I can bring however I am to y'all and just have great conversations and make a lot of friends. And it's just been a really positive experience. And I'm really happy I got to meet all y'all, even if it's only for a little bit of time. Okay, that's it.
And I will say that, like, by one way or another, by God's grace, I ended up at Wesley as kind of like main campus ministry. And I would say definitely the main way that I've grown has been, I think one of the main things I've learned through Wesley has been that like God cares more about your heart than your mind necessarily. And that, because going into college, I was just so about that. Like, I wanted to know more about God. I just wanted to read all the books and like get all the knowledge. And like that would make me a better Christian. But my time at Wesley has showed me that, like as I said, God cares more about your heart than your mind, and I've learned a lot how that means in relation to how like I'm a man of God through that. So that has been like tremendously impactful, and I'm very thankful for that.
Well, so a little bit of Thomas lore. I started coming in Wesley in October of my freshman year. The first thing I ever came to was actually an extended worship in the round room, which left me very confused because that was my first experience with any campus ministry at all. And I was like, do these people really just come here every week for like 2 hours and just like sing in a circle? And but they taught. I decided to give it another go.
I didn't know.
Anyway. So I guess the first real Wesley that I came to, I got probably some of the most profoundly impactful advice I've ever gotten before. I don't remember exactly what Brandon's sermon was, but it was something kind of along the lines of, don't get caught in a rut because you're like afraid to take a leap of faith and do what God is calling you to do. And don't let those opportunities pass you by, kind of deal. And it affected me so profoundly at the time. I actually dug the name tag out of the trash when I got back, and I stuck it on the inside of my Bible cover. And quick tangent, it started a tradition. I actually have every single name tag I ever got at Wesley. I stuck all of them on the inside of my Bible cover until I ran out of space. And now I have 2 sheets of notebook paper that I stick them on every single week. So it's like kind of fun to look at sometimes. But no, that advice is pretty much shaped almost every other thing I've done in college up till now. Because coming into college, believe it or not, I was a shy individual that was very timid. Didn't like talking. You know, doing something like this would have kept me up for like 2 or 3 nights in a row. Probably would have had like a full sheet of notebook paper. I'd have my bullet points, you know, and be all sweaty right now. But I remember that advice I heard at the first Wesley I did, and I started listening a whole lot better to what God was calling me to do. And then good things started happening, you know. I started doing things that I would never in a million years have imagined I would have done. I became the person that I wanted to be, but I didn't think it was possible to be, basically, because I didn't think it was possible for me to be that way. But here we are. So, yeah. And along with that, you know, Wesley it's also taught me that your walk with God is not an individual thing. You know, like Chloe said, I'm an only child too, and I thought that community was kind of just like a bonus thing that you got, that people like to keep you in line kind of thing. But through going here, I've really seen how important finding a good community is, and how much it can really help you grow your own faith in God, and how much it helps your own faith to be able to invest in other people too and help them in their walk with God. And it's just been awesome. I've told everybody, and I've said it since about halfway through freshman year, and I still say it now. This is the best thing I've done in college. It's been my favorite part, the most impactful part, and it's the part I'm probably going to remember the most and most fondly out of anything I've done. So thank you for all of y'all for that, and that's all I got.